She lived life to the fullest, even in the short amount of time she was here with us. I can't even begin to tell you how much I miss my daughter. A day ago, she was healthy. She was running around happy, laughing, excited for her birthday. And by the time they got here, she had already looked at me with her eyes. And they closed. And I'm screaming at her, "Don't leave me, I love you, please don't leave mommy." And she died in my arms.
It's a horror no one wants to experience, but it has become Dawn Massabni's reality.
And I have to excuse my language, but a living hell. I really couldn't believe it, how that could happen so quickly.
Her 19-year-old daughter, Madeline, died from toxic shock syndrome, or TSS, in 2017.
Toxic shock syndrome is a syndrome when women can go into shock because they have retained foreign bodies, that means forgotten foreign bodies in their vagina. What can happen is they can have severely low blood pressure, fever, rash on their body, and they can very quickly go into shock-like situation in which they may need support, meaning ventilatory support and intravenous fluids, etc. It can be caused by any foreign body, but tampons are common culprits because they are commonly forgotten and it's easy to forget a tampon in there.
Dr. Gupta says anyone who is experiencing TSS needs to get to a doctor immediately.
Toxic shock syndrome can be treated by, first and foremost, intravenous fluids. Hydration is important. Patients should be in intensive care unit setting, an ICU setting, and they need intravenous antibiotics ASAP.
TSS is an experience 19-year-old Riley Whitten will not forget. She nearly died of TSS when she was just 15 years old.
I got these new brand tampons, and I changed them frequently, so it wasn't like I left them in for a very long time, because it was a new brand, and you don't trust them if you're using something new. It wasn't after 4 hours that day I didn't start feeling good. I don't know, something just fell off, and we thought it was the flu, so it was about 3 days. It just progressively started getting worse with symptoms of throwing up.
When Riley's mom called the doctor, she said they brushed her symptoms off.
Day one, it was kind of oh, I have body shivers, body aches, probably just stay in bed, take some flu medicine. And then to day 3, I couldn't walk. My mom had to carry me to the bathroom, and I would have to use the bathroom. I had to throw myself off the toilet and lean over the bathtub and throw up, and I couldn't walk. My body was weak.
It was a good thing she followed through with her instincts and went to the emergency room.
I was in a medically induced coma for 9 days. It's not good that it happened, but I'm kind of glad it happened because it changed me as a person. It made me stronger, and it made me view my life a lot differently.
Riley also wants those who use tampons to pay attention to what's in them.
Just know what it is, read up on it, know the symptoms, and I suggest, looking and see what's inside of your tampon, because the ones that I was using, it was all synthetic. There's no cotton in it whatsoever, so make sure you know what you're putting in your body, know the risks, and just be safe.
Women can prevent toxic shock syndrome by not forgetting tampons in their vagina. I usually always recommend setting an alarm, so set an alarm for every 4 hours to try and remove it. Do not sleep with a tampon in place, and do not have sex with a tampon in place.
Dawn has turned this tragedy into a mission.
Our nonprofit is called Don't Shock Me, Maddy Massabni Foundation for Toxic Shock Awareness. I speak everywhere, and I ask girls, how many of them know about toxic shock? And hardly anyone does, and that frightens me. I ask them, how many of them throw the insert out without even reading it? And every hand goes up. So if they're not reading it, how are they learning? And we need to change that.
She visits schools around New Jersey, handing out information to students outlining the dangers of TSS, and is even pushing for legislation on it. Madeline's Law. Madeline's Law would require information about TSS be taught in all schools for grades 5 through 12.
It is preventable, 100%. If Maddie made it, she would be doing this herself. She would not stop. Her voice would be heard everywhere, and she would make a difference.
For InsideEdition.com, I'm Stephanie Officer.